Whether you're catching waves at the beach, bowling with your favorite group of friends, or stealing time at work, the Superhero Homies podcast has got your back. With nearly 1,000 hours in content, we're sure to keep you engaged for hours, like 1,000 of them, with our engaging, thought-provoking, mind-blowing discussions about comic books. Wait, hold on, what's that? You say you already listened to the Superhero Homies podcast? Well, how about Patreon? For $3 a month, $3 non-superhero movie reviews. Hell yeah. Video game discussions. Slap my ass. And now, you get early access to new episodes. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Stop fucking around and go to patreon.com/superhero homies because you deserve it. And here we are. Homies one and all, welcome to a very, very special episode indeed of the Superhero Homies podcast. This is going to be a bit of a throwback here because back for the first time, in the words of Ludacris, my name is Superhero Homie Q, and I am joined here by my good friend, my brother, the homie Kevin. Welcome back.
Guys, I had the hardest time holding back all my laughter for that introduction. I freaking loved it. Slap my ass. How many takes? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is great to be back. Let's be honest. I've missed you. I hope you missed me. I have no idea. I'm back anyways. It's awesome. Brother, how many times did it take you to record that? I want you to know, if I was still there, it would have taken twice as many times. Because I would be like, I'm sorry, did you just tell them to slap my ass?
Well,
for that reason alone, homies, why aren't all of you Patreons? Like, that was amazing.
It's like I was telling the homies Oz and Caleb and Brendan and whatnot, like that the guy that I outsourced to do that, he's the same guy who I got for like the Homies Award last year, the same guy who I got for Superhero Homies Trivia. I just outsource everything to that guy. He's good. Sometimes he's a little over the top, but you know what? He understands the assignment and he gets it done. So, he says you can have an ass slapping good time. Hey, I think that it's worth any amount of money,
What a good guy. He seems to know the content pretty well. Hey. You say over the top, he's like, we just getting started.
Yeah. That's right. As soon as you think that the ride is over, he's like, no. This shit is just starting. Yeah.
You got a good guy. Good guy.
It's good guy. Man, brother, how have you been, man? How's life?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. You want to hear how my day went?
Yeah. Tell me, did you fight a rhinoceros?
Anyways.
Okay.
Dude, I got home from work. Girlfriend gets home. She's like, hey, we're going to be busy the rest of this week. Like I already told you, I got a wedding I got to go to. Right. We're both busy with work as hell. You already get it. Life, adults, etc. Oh, by the way, homies, I moved in with my girlfriend. We're having a great time. I'm a cat dad.
Cat daddy.
See, this is Otto. He's a little thug.
Otto looks like he has no eyes right now.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't he? That's okay.
He has a face. He does have a face.
Yeah, he's very derpy. Yeah. Oh. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. He unplugged the wire. But yeah, she gets home. She brings one of our favorite restaurant meals to go. There's a place up here in Chattanooga. They serve amazing ribs. Nice. Shout out to Edley's. And she's like, hey, I got us 2 to-go trays of the full rack of ribs apiece.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're going to have date night. And for us, homies, date night is rewatching the classic DC cartoons.
Oh, hell yeah.
We already finished Batman. We already finished Batman Beyond. Nice. We already finished Justice League. And now we're in Justice League Unlimited.
Good shit.
Hell yeah. So I just got finished watching the Justice League deals with the Ultramen. Indeed.
You said the Ultramen?
No, Ultramen.
Oh, Ultramen. I'm trying to remember that.
Ultramen. Yep. They were the children who were manufactured in a factory by Lord Maxwell and Amanda Waller to basically be government-owned superheroes. Because the Justice League were standalone agents.
God, okay, shit, I forgot about that. I didn't even remember Maxwell Lord being in the show. The more you know.
I stepped up my game. I'm fucking heaven.
Good shit.
Yeah. And, yeah, dude. Yeah, life has been great. To get back to your question, the new job has been treating me very well, homies. It's I listened to quite a few things and quite a few nerdy things on the road. My collection of books has also expounded. I have so many tabletop game books now, brother.
Hell yeah.
So fucking many. Like, I have Pathfinder. I have Gory. I have Blades in the Dark. I have the Magnus Archives one that just came out on their Patreon, on their Kickstarter. Yeah. Oh, and D&D. So.
Of course. Gotta have the classics. Yeah. Damn, my friend. Have you been... have you had any time to play any of said games yet?
A little bit. I've been DMing up here for a good group of mine, and they're a lot of fun, man. They're good. Most of them are beginning players, so there's definitely a lot of like fun room to grow and to learn and to just kind of like become the type of players they're going to become. Mm-hmm. So in other words, I have a group of min-maxers, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. Yeah. That's not true. Actually, Maddie is one of the players in the group. She's, don't tell your sources, but, she's the best one.
Oh.
This is fun being on video. Why didn't we do this shit earlier?
Yeah. Good ass question. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear you kicking ass in Chattanooga. And it's good to also hear that Maddie's keeping you on the straight and narrow. We have still, as of yet, officially met. Maddie and myself, that is, not you and me. We've met before.
I would say, good sir. I know how you take a protein. We've met.
Oh, hell yeah. But yeah, homies, for those of you who are listening on the wherever you listen to the podcast at, yes, there is now a video format. Patreon actually has all of the videos that are up so far, and then they're also going to be slowly released to the YouTubes. So if you guys want to see our glowing, glorious, beautiful faces, if you're into that kind of thing, then yes, there are ways you can actually see. And so actually moving forward here, pretty much all the episodes will be recorded in some format, whether the guests are in studio with me or not. So, hell yeah.
I like it. You know what we should do, brother?
What's that?
We should go back. We should make time and re-record all the old episodes in video format.
That's the way to have unlimited content.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the hard part about that.
Yep.
We can't just do it as we are now. We're grown people with new opinions and new experiences.
Yep.
We have to retrograde ourselves into our younger selves. We both still have hair, okay? We don't shave it off yet.
Yeah.
And, we re-record all the shit.
Just as we did all those years ago.
Yeah. How many homies would love that? Let me tell you. Homies, let me get a show of hands. How many hands out there?
You kind of had me in the first half. You lost me in the back half.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind re-recording some of those. That would be like fantastic to revisit some of those amazing subjects.
Right.
You know,
that would be dope as hell.
Yeah. You know, everyone grows. Everyone's allowed to change. You know, so I'd be curious to see how we've changed. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Is it bad that I'm kind of grateful that some of those old episodes have been lost to time? I'm like, thank goodness no one can find that shit.
I was a victim on a lot of them. Let's be honest. Weren't we all? But yeah, no, there are definitely a lot of great episodes, and I'm not going to say any of them were trash. I just don't believe that.
Yeah,
but there definitely were. There are some that shined, and there are some that, maybe glue in the dark, like a, great value toy.
Great analogy.
Don't sue us, Walmart. Or Superstore that might have the great value product.
That's right. It's called great value for a reason. It has great value. We're not disparaging.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It equates to the good stuff.
Right. So we are actually here for a reason.
Besides catching up.
Yes. That is always the prime reason these days, my friend. It's always good to hear from you. Always good to see you. You're here.
Likewise. I love this video idea, dude.
Thank you.
Have me on more often.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I was gonna actually. I told you earlier about the homie Tame. I wanted to have him on for this because he's recently been binging Invincible. I don't think he's quite finished it yet. I had the idea, admittedly too late. Probably could have invited the homie Caleb on for this because he also wanted to talk about Invincible.
Well, it's not too late. Let's call the motherfucker up. What's he doing? Monday night. He ain't up to nothing.
Hey, don't tip me. Have the technology, damn it. We can call this motherfucker right here. Caleb, what the fuck you doing? Hey, grab a computer and pull up a seat. Yeah.
You know what'd be funny? If we both called him and, who he chooses the answer. Yeah, there you go. Oof. Yeah.
That's going to result in hurt feelings. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you ignored me, but when Kevin calls, you answer on the first ring, son of a bitch. See if you ever come back on this podcast.
Oh, no.
Either one of you both kicked off. No, never again.
I'm going to go cry now.
Oh, okay, well, I take it back.
All right, good. All right.
Yeah, but, I saw an interesting poll online. You know how the internet has a sick way of interpreting your likes and your dislikes and your interest and things like that. And
all too well.
All too well, yeah. I saw a poll online that made me laugh, and the results I thought were even funnier. And I wish I could remember what source posted this poll, because I give them credit, but I honestly don't remember who. So shout out to you, whatever website or YouTube channel did this. But the poll had 7.7 thousand votes as of the time that I saw it. But the poll was it was something along the lines of, you have to watch one of these 10 days straight. Which one are you choosing? And the options were The Flash, The Marvels, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny.
I want to hear this.
And the last option was or paint drying. And and the results were harrowing. So the Flash got 25%. The Marvels got 7%. Dial of Destiny got 4%. And paint drying got 62%?
Brother, I'm no politician, but that's a majority vote.
I think it is. I think that's called a shutout. Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah. That's They won the popular vote.
Yeah, that they did. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, you just saw me turn to watch this paint, and it's not even drying.
I thought that shit was hilarious and also very telling about the state of current big blockbuster movies right now. Things has been bizarre. This has been an off year for Hollywood and an off year for superhero movies. We still have one more to go this year. I guess I need to get my fucking ticket. Aquaman 2. Yeah.
Two things about that. One business and one less business, but important still to me. So it's funny. The last one that we have for the year, if I do recall correctly, good brother, was one that you nor I had much faith in come the Superhero Homies Award. If I do recall that correctly. Yeah. Because you're talking Aquaman 2?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think we had much faith in it come the Homie Awards. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure both of us were like,
yeah, no, it was.
That's got real mid energy.
It does, but here's the crazy thing. Like, it has really mid energy. Like, I think that Aquaman 2 would be every bit as tropey and generic, and probably every bit as visually gorgeous as the first one. And I thought I thought that the first one was, it was your standard fanfare action flick with all the cliches and tropes and all the shit that you've seen 1,000 times before. But admittedly, I would take that over most of the shit we got this year. So if that's what they give me, don't get me wrong, I won't love it and I won't be ecstatic about it. But shit, man, like if you tell me like I have to eat dog food and then I spend a year eating baby shit, and then you tell me to eat the dog food again, I'm gonna go for the dog food. And
what's that shit? Beef and gravy flavor?
Yeah. Yeah,
brother. That leads me to a great lead up to my second comment I wanted to make. I've missed this. Can I just have a quiet moment of reflection to say how I've missed this? So I don't get to share these opinions as powerfully or as loudly or as hilariously as I used to be able to all the time. I think I took it for granted, And now I go see these movies and, I talk to Maddie about them and I can't really talk to no one else about them,
Right.
And, what's great about that is that on the podcast, I was not afraid to be offensive.
It's a beautiful outlet,
It is. It's so good. You put the headphones on, you put the mic on, you're about done.
Right.
That's about all she wrote.
Yep.
I do digress, though. I say all that to get to the real thesis of the statement. I've missed doing this, dude. This is always fun. Yeah. Always good. It's always good to know that our tastes have not differed and forked in such a dramatic direction that instead I can watch a movie and have our psychic tether yank and be like, okay, he's got the same opinion.
Yeah. And brother, I thought that there's not a lot of benefits to having you, away because obviously I lost my co-host. But I was like, unselfishly, he's not going to have to watch a lot of the shit that I have to. So
you know what's funny about that?
What's that?
You know what's funny about that?
You've seen all of the shit, right?
I've seen all the shit. I still saw it, homies.
It's like I forgot that Ant-Man 3 even came out this year. And
wait, which one?
Ant-Man 3.
Yeah, Quantumania.
Yeah. I forgot that came out. And I was like, oh, holy shit. This has been a long year. This year needs to end so we can get to another better year.
I will say this, though. One low-key benefit before we get to the main juice of the content here. I did not see all of it in theaters. I waited till some of it was on TV.
I do not blame you at all. Yeah.
My wallet has thanked me profusely.
Brother, I don't know. I think it's probably across the board, but man, movie ticket prices have increased
Dude, it's dramatic.
Oh
It's bad.
yeah. Like, you know how much it hurt my feelings personally to pay $20 to go see the Marvels? I
because you went to like GTX City.
Yeah, brother. I question, like, maybe I should just shut down the podcast. Like, I was like, how? This is true. Like that was truly a test of my commitment and love for the podcast game, because
Kevin Feige was really testing your mettle. That's what it was. Yeah.
Not only that, but like all of my planned co-hosts fell through for the Marvels. All the other movies that came out this year, it was fairly easy to find people. All of a sudden, the Marvels comes around, no one is to be found.
I remember you telling me that. I remember. Cause like I think you said it in a text message. Like so homies, I got Q in the habit with me. I hardly ever type my messages. I always vocal record them. Thank you, microphone. And I remember the recording. Like, coincidentally, Caleb, Nora Oz. Nobody saw that shit with me.
Even Brendan, I couldn't get him. He backed out on me.
Not even Brendan?
I couldn't even get Brendan. Shout out to you, Brendan.
Shout out to you, Brendan. I hope you're doing good, brother. Yeah. I hope you're playing the hell of a barbarian.
Oh, yeah. But man, like that was I've had several people now tell me that I sounded depressed on that review, and that's because I was. All right.
I listened to part of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing because I already knew.
Yeah,
I listened to part of it, and I can concur. You sounded like you listened to that one sad song Logic did that we all forgot about.
Right. Yeah. I needed to hear that song after I saw the movie. You know.
Shout out to Logic, I guess.
Sure.
Why not?
Shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's just not to pick on. That's just not to pick on the Marvels, and we're gonna move on here and talk about something good really soon here.
Yeah. I'm super excited for this, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the precursor comment, it's great.
Yeah. And you know, the thing of it is like the Marvels was it was as expected. You know, I mean, I think we literally called this like a year ago. Like the movie's going to be bad, and lo and behold, the movie was bad.
You know, actually, to pair with your comment, and you know, this obviously isn't the title card on today's episode, but it still gets deserved to be said. One thing we didn't foresee was the difficulties that the movie went through in order to still hit the screen. Just to give Disney a little credit there, we didn't expect the rewrites and the reshoots and the writer strike in between and all that jazz. You know, so
I give them. I mean, you know, here's the thing though.
What's up?
You know, nowadays most movies go through reshoots or rewrites, especially like these blockbuster movies. So I don't give them any leeway on that. And in terms of the writer's strike, the movie was already done being written when that movie was coming out. Well, you know,
I'm sorry, Marvel. I tried. Let me just slide that check back across the table. There we go.
The only downside that the strike gave to that movie was, oh man, charismatic Brie Larson couldn't go do a press tour and promote the movie.
I'm sorry, who? What are we talking about?
But no, Iman Vellani, she was the only person who seemed like she wanted to be there, you know. So shout out to her. You know, she did her best.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. But I just wanted to mention that because like you contrast that with The Flash, and expectations were so high, and that movie could not reach that pinnacle. You know, even though they had all the tools in the world to do it, it just didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, in the middle, just looking at the poll there, you have Dial of Destiny, which was kind of up in the air because it was like another Indiana Jones movie. But then James Mangold, the same director who did Logan, was doing that movie, and you're thinking maybe there's potential. And then I saw the movie and I was like, that was fucking awful. That was not my cup of tea. So it's it's interesting, right? Just looking at like the big blockbusters. I think for me, there's only really been two that have hit the mark, and that's probably Guardians Volume 3 and Across the Spider-Verse, which I think is probably still the best movie I've seen in theaters this year.
Agreed. No argument, dude.
Yeah.
I saw it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit was great.
At ridiculous ticket prices. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, that's worth it though. You know, I wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't complain either. I will still be complaining about what I paid for the Marvels next year. Oh, but okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
the good news is for tonight's episode,
Yeah.
You don't need a movie ticket.
You don't.
You might just need to pay Amazon Prime, but you don't need a movie ticket.
Not yet. You don't. They are working on a movie still, live action. So we'll see what happens there.
So what though?
I said they are still working on a live action movie for Invincible. So we'll see what happens there with that.
Sorry, my audio cut out for a second, but yeah. I did not know that actually, a live action one.
Yeah, they are still planning a live action Invincible. I mean, I don't think they've made very much leeway on that. And honestly, I don't know what a live action Invincible would even look like because that's a lot to cover. Like, what would it encompass, you know?
A much older Henry Cavill and angrier.
I can
but also, Henry Cavill's not allowed to voice himself. It would be J.K. Simmons.
I can see Henry Cavill being playing an Omni-Man, you know? That'd be cool as hell.
That'd be dope. He's got the size.
Oh, yeah.
But it has to be J.K. Simmons.
It has to be his voice.
Yeah. Guys, just to get started, because I can't hold the lid on this comment anymore.
Yeah.
I would pay J.K. Simmons. What's that website where you could pay to have like a movie star or a TV star like record you a message or something?
Yeah.
I got you a gift for it once.
Yeah, Cameo. Yeah. You got me Commander Shepard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Commander Shepard. I got him to do the classic.
Yes.
The Superhero Homies is my favorite podcast.
Yes.
On the ship. I can't remember.
Citadel.
The Citadel. Thank you. But I would pay to have J.K. Simmons yell motivational shit at me. No, not tell me. You heard me correct. Not tell me motivational shit. I need him to yell it at me, and I would pay for that shit. Like hurt me personally, shit. To be like, I will get my shit together, J.K. Simmons. I am sorry to disappoint you.
That's like your version of a dominatrix, you know?
Basically. Right. But it's just like fanboy. You know, it's just like, God damn, I love you in Whiplash.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, J.K., like, he does a lot of roles that are a wee bit intimidating. Like, he has a presence about him. Yeah. So, that would be cool as hell, man. And so before we get too far into things here, guys, there will be obviously full spoilers for season 1 of Invincible, the Adam Eve special, and of course the first 4 episodes of season 2. That is all of the live action. That's all of the animated material currently on Amazon for Invincible. And then at the end there, just for fun and games, there's going to be a brief spoiler section where we kind of talk about some shit that happens in the comic book that has not happened in the show yet. And so that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about there as well. And we give you guys a full notice when we get to that part, so no one's going to be caught off guard.
Amen. As always, Quentin, I'm not sure if any of their homies tell you this, so, mark me one of the best because I do so. Thank you for the reading of the rules.
Well, thank you, my friend.
Appreciate it. Man, let's let's get started. Let's fuck this pig. Yeah.
I didn't know that's what we were doing here, but I'm game. All right.
All right. Nope. We're good. Okay. I'm on camera now.
This picks up immediately after the conclusion of season 1, which was at this point about, 2 years ago? I think it was 2021 when season 1 came out.
Yeah, I think you're right, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a really fucking long layoff. What you think about episode 1 coming back into Invincible right after like the super bloody, hellish fight between Omni-Man and his son Mark Grayson?
So funny enough, actually 2 quick comments. The first is like my 1.5 comments. Like, remember, we got that short skit of Alan the alien and Mark eating lunch together. And Alan was like, bro, when is this going to come out? You guys have waited forever. I don't know, soon. Well, when soon? You got to give me. There was that short cartoon, if the homies recall. I'm sure it's still up on YouTube somewhere, intermittent Invincible cartoon. Yeah. But, dude, I really dug episode 1, actually. Like, I began watching it, and I like how the animation can get away with, like, a narrative style that the comic books are normally known for being the only medium that can do this.
Right.
So, in other words, you finish book 1, close, put it down, you pick up book 2, open it, and in a comic book fashion, and even in a written medium fashion, to be honest, you can start off with something jarring, with something like second guessing, to say, wait a minute, did I misremember that? You pick up book 1, you read the ending again. Nope, I didn't second guess that. And you're wondering what happened. I love that they did that with episode 1. That was really cool to see, like, that alternate version where we get introduced not really to our protagonist so much, but more so to a much other and much more another important character. Excuse me. Yeah. So that was very fascinating to see that kind of like otherworldly approach to our story, but not our story.
This was that was the best bit of multiversal content I've seen. Maybe ever. Like, I mean, DC couldn't do it, Marvel couldn't do it, but damn it, Invincible said, this is how you do a multiversal layup. Maybe since Rick and Morty season 2,
yeah. I am sure glad the comment section is not live. I could just imagine how often do they shit on the Disney multiversal. Like, well, are we wrong?
Right.
Click.
Yeah. Come on.
You're not wrong, though. Yeah. Like, okay, I was about to say something spoilery, so let me close my mouth there. But to kind of like edit the same comment, this story does a great job of that. Like, this story relies on its multiversal self, and it does so strongly, where it's not like over encumbering, it's not rule breaking, it's not like a convenient otherworldly self, So yeah.
But also, like, in terms of these 4 episodes, they don't go back to it, and they really don't have to, and they really also don't have time either. But that's kind of the beauty of it, right? I think that Invincible, like, the entire comic run is 12 volumes, which equals to like 144 issues. It's a lot of story. And, I'll take a step back here. It was so interesting over the past couple of days, just kind of flipping through the comics again, because it fucks with my brain because I'm like, okay, so this event, for example, the what they call the animators, they were like the robot zombies that we saw in season 1 made by. They don't show up until book 2.
Oh, the Animan.
Animan, yeah.
Yep. I was like, animators? No. That's the guy who drew it, brother.
Ryan Notley. Yeah, is the main guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they, I believe they don't show up until book 2, and I was like, holy shit, that's right. But we saw them in season 1.
Yeah, because that's when Homeboy went to college.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. And then there's like the way that there were like some other things I saw too that I was like, oh, okay, this thing actually happened in book 1, but it wasn't introduced until season 2. And so like there's a lot of weird shifting and back and forth there, but somehow the show still maintains like its narrative function, like it never loses itself. And so when we get like Angstrom Levy, and it is Levy, damn it, we talked about this.
Yeah, we did. We made fun of that, guys, but we got your backs. It's Angstrom Levy.
That's right. This Angstrom Levi bullshit. Yeah, so
that was so awkward when I heard that on the show. I was like, "What did you say?"
Angstrom Levi.
Yeah, and the voice actor for that, by the way, is Sterling K. Brown, and a very impressive actor. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, how'd you pronounce that?
You're right.
And my brain like refused to accept it as canon. Like, it can't be. It's Levy.
Right. Everyone knows that. And like you joked, like off mic, that's just got to be the variant that can't pronounce his name right, you know. But
almost identical except that one thing.
One thing, almost, you know. Yeah, it's like if you were a variant of yourself, right? But you refer to yourself as Kevin, you know, like what? But everything else was completely the same, but your name is Kevin.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, bro. Did you fall on your head? Which injury did it?
There's several. Could have been any. Take your pick. But you know, with Angstrom Levy, and also with that brief opening in episode 1, you're like, where is this gonna go? If you're not familiar with the comic books, you're probably curious, where is this gonna lead? How does this tie in, and what all is gonna happen here? And that does kind of lead me to a question that maybe is more suited for the spoiler filled section, but like I do wonder how they're gonna balance that out, because some of these plot lines in the comic books last a while, and I don't know if an animated TV show can maintain that kind of consistency the way that a comic book can, But it's going to be interesting though, nonetheless.
So it's funny you mentioned that. That was actually one of my comments I had written down as well. Mm-hmm. And it's no surprise because we saw this type of storytelling in season 1.
Yeah.
And to those who are familiar with the graphic novel, you know exactly what we're talking about. This story is ballsy. Yeah. And it's not ballsy in that the content it puts out is just like that balls to the walls crazy or anything like that. It's a very well told story through and through, whether it's the pages or the TV show, because honestly, both are great.
Yeah.
But it's ballsy in the fact that it plates so many storylines at the same time. Yeah. Like in one episode, comically enough, we get, Rick and Morty, for instance, makes fun of this, where you got the A and the B plot, A plot, B plot. And Rick is like, I refuse to be B plot ever,
Right.
This show can consecutively carry out A, B, C, D plots even, you know? And it's intimidating because a lot of showrunners, technically, how the hell are you going to do that?
Right.
And so that's a legit question, Q. And honestly, I'm worried that they're going to collapse under their own weight. Mm-hmm. But one, we know Robert Kirkman, this is not his first TV show. We have to give credence to the fact that this was the story thereafter, The Walking Dead, at least in his TV production. Hello, Pico. What's up, girl? Good girl. But see, here's cat number 2.
Hey, cat number
everybody.
2.
It's Pico.
Hello there, Pico.
She's a girl. She's got a bow tie. Oh, see? Bow tie.
Nice.
So, yeah, she's a good one. She's like the non-chaotic one.
Ah.
Yep. There you go, girl. Put you right back on the bed. But I digress. I was talking about the plots. Yeah.
That reminds me, Stephen Yeun, like, does he have like
voice actor for Invincible? Yep.
Yeah, like, was it just coincidence, or were they looking for people who also worked on Walking Dead?
I honestly, I think it's like the Quentin Tarantino principle. It's like Robert Kirkman saw, hey, you're good. I can rely on you. Yeah, come audition for this.
Right.
So
Glenn, that was his character's name. I couldn't think of it earlier. Yeah.
Glenn, yeah. Who, frankly, he lasted a long time in both the show and the graphic novel. Yeah. So, yeah.
Kudos to him.
Yeah, kudos. You made it better. But, that's what I was talking about. The big difference between this and The Walking Dead, however, The Walking Dead, frankly, in my opinion, did not know when to end. It had a great story. It had a great storytelling method, and it just did not know when to stop.
Yeah.
Whereas this has a beginning and an end.
Yep.
It's there. We know where it's at. We know how to get there. And so as long as we don't think, let's make issue like graphic novels 13, 14, 15.
Yep.
In other words, make it a 280 issue rather than 144, like you said, then we should be fine. Knock on wood.
But there's always the problem of money. And I guess maybe it depends on how much control Robert Kirkman has, or because I think he is more hands-on with this than he was with Walking Dead, I hope.
I hope. I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, just a fun sidebar here. Did you know that Stephen Yeun is actually supposed to play, of all characters, the Sentry?
I saw that. I thought it was a joke.
I thought so too.
I have no idea what that is about. Like, I'm sorry, who?
I'm like, no disrespect to Stephen Yeun, but I'm like, has anyone seen a picture of the Sentry?
Are you playing the Void?
Right.
So you heard the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
In what movie? Is this the MCU?
Yeah.
It had to be, right? He's the MCU property.
Yep. And supposed to be the main bad guy for the Thunderbolts movie. And I'm like, the fuck are they going to do to the Sentry? You know?
We'll recruit him for one. But...
Yeah. Just a funny sidebar there. Maybe the Sentry's going to be completely CG. They're like, we can't find a guy that jacked, so we're just going to CG.
Oh,
I'm just, making an assumption here. I mean, that's, we'll see. Yeah.
James McAvoy. You got to give him a blonde wig for James McAvoy.
We saw him bulk up for...
We saw him with some physique, in Split. Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And we saw him with split brain personality too. So yeah,
that also tracks. Yeah,
there you go.
I felt kind of bad because I was like, is Stephen Yeun going to play like the human form of Sentry? Like when he's, like is that?
Yeah. What? Bob Richards?
Bob Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Yeah,
I'm
close.
sorry.
Bob Richards, the car salesman.
Yep. Yeah. I guess not a sponsor either. You know?
Yep, not a sponsor. Unless you guys want to give me a car, I guess. Then I'll sponsor you, sure.
No. 2 cars. I need one.
Oh, that's right. 2 cars. Yes. Make that 2, please.
Time Tuesday.
Anywho, back to the Invincible here, though. Like, I also really enjoyed the opening for that first episode, man. That shit was, that shit was good. And, for me, it kind of had the, going back to Rick and Morty, it had the evil Morty effect where you kind of wonder, well, when are we going to see that again and what happens with that in the future? The difference is the Invincible storyline is actually going to go somewhere with that. Whereas Rick and Morty for a few seasons kind of lost their way with it and kind of tried to, play it off like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
With, Invincible here, they are going to go someplace with what we saw in that episode, with the alternate universe versions of some of our heroes. I also really liked how in these episodes they play up, oh my gosh, is it, what's his mom's name? Susan? Sandra. Debbie. Sandra is the name of the actress who voices her. Sandra Oh.
I was like, brother, this is a rare occurrence. One of us is gravely sick.
Right.
But yes, Debbie, a.k.a. played by Sandra Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. So we're both right.
Yes, right.
Yeah, dude. No, I love the attention they're giving to Debbie as a character.
Yeah.
That's one thing the show is actually doing really well, giving attention to characters that the graphic novel didn't have room for or didn't make room for.
Yeah.
We got to see them to some relevance. Debbie in one case, we'll talk about others in a jiffy. But dude, Debbie has a good story.
Oh yeah,
and it deserves to be told.
Yeah, and I guess in the comic book's fairness, we do see her, really deal with that kind of grief in the comic book. But she does it mostly alone, and the animated show it does it differently, but I think to like the same degree. But we do get to see just more of her kind of going through that, because that's gotta suck, There are some interesting things that the show does leave out that the comic book has in it, but I understand why, because they have to they only have so much time and they have to get things moving,
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were parts where like Mark is talking with like the principal, who tells him that we know that you're going through something really difficult right now, losing your father. So you missed 3 weeks of school, but we're gonna work with you so you can make it up. And we see Mark going through shit like that in the comic books, whereas in the TV show, they kind of more or less get to the point of that. I appreciate that in the comic books because the pacing is going to be different, than the TV show.
Luckily, it plays off well in the show.
It does,
it works. Yeah,
it works really, really well. I also, not to sidebar us again, but I also, after seeing these first 4 episodes, I really appreciate the fact that they gave us the Adam Eve special because she doesn't really get a whole lot in these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially being the kind of star player that we know she is.
Yeah. What's amazing about that too is that's a lot of story that we don't get access to in the pages.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, oh, this is a surprise. Oh, thank you. Was I a good person this year? Can I get this? And it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, done. Canon. Moving on. Yeah. So
did you see if Robert Kirkman wrote that? Because I don't know.
I think he did.
Okay.
I'll have to go double check, so don't hold me to the court to that.
I'm holding
but
you.
I think he did.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to look it up. I got another cell phone right here. So
yeah, if only we had like laptops or something in front of us that allow.
Oh my gosh! Wait, technically, hey, you ready for this?
Yep.
You guys just saw me put my cell phone in my right hand, right? What's this then?
Oh.
I have a laptop. No longer in my back pocket, but in my front pocket.
You had to do it. Okay.
Anyways, okay. Shout out to the song. All right. I'll look it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam Eve, she doesn't get a whole lot to do in these first 4 episodes, but that's okay because we know that as the story progresses, she's gonna get more. The big question that I think everyone was wondering, especially if you haven't read the comic books, is where is Nolan, Omni-Man, and what's gonna happen? Like, are we gonna find him again? And what's gonna happen when we finally get back to him? I don't know about you, brother. I'm sure we probably talked about this maybe a couple years ago when we reviewed season 1, but when I first read the comic book, I was like, man, in my mind, after I read book 1, I was thinking, okay, well, Mark is going to have to like train up. He's going to go through some bullshit. And then maybe a few books down the line, he's going to run into Omni-Man again. And they're going to have to run it back, But
yep, he was going to have the Dragon Ball Z syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be maybe a closer fight. And, they're going to find some cool ways to do it. Robert Kirkman, to his credit, he came up with a very disarming kind of solution to the Omni-Man issue, which is he's still Mark's dad,
Yeah. I mean, what's relevant about that comment, by the way, Robert Kirkman did write Adam Eve.
Oh, so, okay, good.
Yep, the special episode, he did write it, homies. I just looked it up. We're all good.
Hell yeah.
Okay, to your comments now. What's interesting about that is he wrote in the Omni-Man, whatever your verbiage you just used, the conundrum, what was it again?
That's the issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wrote that into the story to where it wouldn't even serve as an issue.
Right.
And what's lucky about that is we had, such iconic roles such as Superman previously to help us kind of realize that hurdle. Once you have like an omnipotent superhero that's basically a god with a red or whatever cape, what's the real story there? Because there's no challenge. There's no adventure to be had because what could stop them? So with Omni-Man, it just took clever writing. And there's like some really clever writing in there where we actually see Omni-Man not have to deal with shit like, like a super tank who could just eat the sun or lift time or whatever fucking joke I'm making. But instead, have other relevant issues to go through. Like you're mentioning, for instance, that he's still a dad.
Yeah.
And that he's learning to deal with that whole weight. And that's a whole new ball game. You can't just punch that in the face.
Right.
So, yeah. But,
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, like, how they play that out in the show. I imagine it'll be really similar. It's also interesting, man, like, whenever you get the opportunity, like, going back through the comic books, you see that, man, not only did the show take heavy inspiration, but, like, this is literally panel for panel, like, word for word in certain cases, you know?
Yep.
So,
you know, I would love to take those opportunities, brother. You know, I sure would. I sure golly would. But my library card seems to have expired.
Oh, well, hey.
I need to go get a new library card for the library acquaintance.
You moved away from the library and you lost access.
It's not my fault.
Here we go.
It's totally my fault.
Oh, no,
I can literally go get the books.
Yeah.
I should. They're good books.
They are. Yeah, they recently released them in like omnibus format. I think they released them in like 4 different omnis.
Mm-hmm. If there wasn't a copyright law, I'd just ask you to just show us page by page what's happening.
Yeah, you know, I was about to, but I didn't because I was like, there's probably still some spoilers in book 2.
That too. Also, probably some relevant laws that could, eat us alive. So,
well, I'm sure Robert Kirkman wouldn't dare, or Jeff Bezos. He.
No. The former, I think he'd be an okay guy about it compared to Jeff Bezos.
Right.
Like, look, man, I'm a fellow bald white guy. Come on, okay? Yeah. What do we got going on here? He's like, I do not care.
Yeah. I'm going to ship you this ass whooping. 1 day delivery. Oh.
What's embarrassing about this new podcasting medium, brother, is people can see just how ridiculous I laugh for this shit. Oh, that got me so good. If Jeff Bezos was Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah. 1 day shipping, bitch.
Oh, that got my eyes a little wet. Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hello.
We're back. We're here. Yeah.
Ship you this ass whooping. That was good. That was really good, dude. Like, well done. God damn. That got me so. I want you to know now, in the background of my mind, in the subconscious, I'm low-key going to be thinking about other things Jeff Bezos could say to sound tough while marketing his product.
Right. Oh, that would be phenomenal. Oh,
yeah. Okay. On track. We're back.
So this is just a small...
It's not been an hour in.
This is just a small detail. We don't have to spend a lot of time here. I'm just curious to get your thoughts.
What's up?
In the TV show, when the people from the Bug Planet come to recruit Mark to bring him back to their planet, he shows up as Seance Dog.
Yep.
Which is...
You're right, that didn't take a lot of time.
Was that? Oh, yeah. yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Moving on. No.
Which was, obviously like a play on like, Doctor Strange. We also see Seance Dog and like some issues in the comic book itself, being the comic book that Mark reads. But his actual favorite comic book wasn't Seance Dog, it's Science Dog. And that's who shows up in the comic books. It's like a guy dressed up like, a buff adventurer dog who shows up. That's his favorite character. I was just curious. I wonder why the change from Science Dog to Seance Dog. Again,
simplicity.
Yeah, sure. I was just curious.
Because like in the pages, that would make sense because you have more time and better pacing to take advantage of that and to just kind of show that nuance. In the TV show, I feel like it serves the same purpose.
So it does.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it absolutely serves the same purpose, but I don't know. Maybe they're just being clever, like a play on words. Like seance sounds really similar to science, so We'll go with that.
Well, what's funny about that is like one is all magic.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
if you call himself Science Dog, that's almost counterintuitive. That's like Rick calling himself the best magician, even though we know he's a scientist. Crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Rick, of course, from Rick and Morty. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Clever.
So this was one of like those. I call it the old school Game of Thrones twist. You know, whereas like people who read the Game of Thrones books, some of them, thankfully not all of them, but some of them are really pretentious. Like, we know what's gonna happen, and you guys don't. Yo, you're gonna freak out when you see this. Blah 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 blah, and you know, comic readers to a degree online, they've been that way too. For Invincible, and they're also kind of insufferable in that regard. But
toxic fandom, man, they always exist.
Yeah, people just want people to know that. Oh, I know what's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, bitch, yeah, like,
yeah. I'm glad that makes you superior.
Right.
Which tax bracket are you in? You know. Yeah.
And I hope we never come across as those types.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Man. That would suck.
Yeah. It would. But the only reason I bring that up is because as a comic reader, when you first read that, you're like, okay, Mark's going on another adventure. And, you know, the Robert Kirkman, he conditions you to get used to seeing Mark going on adventures, like him going to the fish people, you know, or Mark going to
Mars.
Yeah, or Mars. Yeah, you get conditioned to seeing Mark going on random adventures. And so this sounds like another one, but it's not. Omni-Man is here, and this is all a ploy to draw in Mark. Did this moment for you hit any differently in live action or in animated form versus comic books?
A little bit. A little bit, but that unfortunately is a moment that was robbed from me from the TV show. You know, like I think that would be a better question to ask someone who hasn't read the book, you know, and then to like somehow extrapolate both of those experiences and compare them to one another.
Yep.
If such a means to simply do so existed, because in the comic book, that was a big dramatic moment. That was a big card. You know, you didn't see that coming. In the TV show, they play it really well.
Yeah.
You know, they play the scene where the ending scene of that third episode, I had to think about which one, is that's a cliffhanger.
Yep.
The last thing said in the entire show is, hello, Mark. And you see the shot of him like at the top of the stairs with his hand extended, you know?
Yeah.
That moment was really cool, but I can't say it hit the same, you know, because we knew.
Yeah.
We saw the book people, and we knew that they drew them a little differently, a little bit more PG, but, you know, we knew that was the same bug people from the planet Nolan happened to be the Emperor on because he's old as fuck to these people, because he's older than a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his lifespan exceeds that of a chicken McNugget.
Yeah. This man's on preservatives.
What do you mean he's been here for 10 months? No one's lived that long.
No one does that long.
That's impossible. This man's a goddamn god.
Make him the ruler of the planet.
Yeah. I will say this though, to the show's credit, like they know that they can't pull the wool over the eyes of people who read the comic books.
Right.
But what they can do is keep the pacing in such a way that, you know, they can make the expected feel unexpected. Like, okay, so Mark shows up on the planet in episode 3, and as soon as you see Seance Dog, you know that's going to happen. But when you see, you know, right, like at the beginning of episode 4, the other Viltrum might show up. You're like, oh, we're doing this right now.
Yeah, that was the surprise.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I was like the conversation is so funny enough. What I made the joke earlier, but it made me think, oh, Dragon Ball Syndrome. We're going to get them training a little bit, maybe like a quick scene or two of like fighting, punching, like maybe Mark dealing with that PTSD, with that hard emotion of you beat the fuck out of me before, but now you expect me to help you, you know? But instead, it's like, oh, I need you to deal with this right now because they're here, all three of them. Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, and that's kind of the great thing about this show. Like they change the things that they can for simplicity's sake to make the show more consumable, while also making it, you know, easy to follow and streamlined, but they also keep the things that they absolutely know they have to keep, and sometimes exactly the same, and this being one of them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, basically, as soon as Mark shows up and, you know, talks with his dad for a little bit and meets his little brother, you know, Oliver, that's also in the comic books when these other Viltrumites show up.
Brother, man. He doesn't have a name yet. He's not old enough to pick his own name.
I just guessed. You know, he looks like an Oliver. You know,
I'm on to you.
Yep.
Why are you saying that? Because it's purple?
The fuck is the correlation?
There's purple olives out there.
Oh shit. Okay, you know, I meant you know, Oompa Loompa or Blueberry Kid from Willy Wonka, you know, like those were too long of names, you know. Oh shit.
Oompa Loompa. Oh shit, here's the Viltrumites.
Yep. Oh shit, here's the Viltrumites.
Yeah.
And man, they're so fucking dangerous, right? So fucking deadly. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to check something else out here. No spoilers for the.
Yeah. What's so impressive about them is that the Viltrumites, no matter what form they take, like these three, for instance, whenever they came to the planet, we see, and we're introduced for the first time, different race of Viltrumites in that, hey, no matter if they're old, white, black, you know, whatever the case, they're all just as deadly. And so that's super incredible. And I was impressed that the first time we see, on the show at least in this regard, we see a Viltrumite who has a weapon. She has a hair braid with a goddamn dagger.
Yeah, and like the crazy thing about that, right, is like I went through, because that fight I thought happened in book 2. It actually happens in book 3.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about that is she was not there. It was another Viltrumite. He looked maybe the same, maybe a little bit older than Nolan, which somehow makes him scarier to me. I don't know. There's one other we definitely got to talk about in the spoiler field section, who we cannot wait to see.
Yeah. The internet's been lighting up about him too.
I believe it. Yeah. Y'all thought Battle Beast was scary. Wait till we get to this motherfucker. But yeah, she actually wasn't in that fight, but I thought I saw her in the comic book somewhere. I could be wrong. Yeah, so that fight was every bit as gruesome and brutal as it was in the pages. Like, they do not hold back on that, and you know, you think they would to a degree, or at least most studios try to refrain from excessive violence. This show leans into it every bit as much as the comic book does.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty incredible. Like I'm a fan of it. You know?
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
and
honestly, I was joking with Maddie about this because I was just kind of like, because I've seen the whole episodes 1 through 4.
Yeah.
And then she learned that I was going to be on the guest spot again for this particular episode.
Hell yeah.
And so yesterday she's like, yeah, let's 2 days ago we began watching season 2 because she's seen all of season 1 and Adam Eve.
Yeah.
And so she's like, yeah, I'm ready for season 2. Let's do it. And so we started watching all of it. And like as episode 4 was starting, I was like, baby, get ready. This is, those hands are rated E for everyone. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Yeah. So, and yeah, dude, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is great, and it is gruesome. Mild spoiler alert. So like I did go back and you know, they put that again, like that fight happens in book 3. If you're reading it in volumes, that happens in book 3. Issue 29 is when that fight takes place. And what's interesting are like the little things that they left out, and I think that this was done maybe purposely so. You probably remember this. There's a moment in the comic books before that fight takes place, right before it takes place, right before it really kicks off, where the Viltrumites, they show up on the bug planet and they decimate like thousands or maybe millions of the bug people, and Nolan, he's basically narrating out loud, and he says, "I've seen much more bloodshed. I've killed more people than they've killed today. Yet why does this make me so angry?" Because he's extremely distraught that like these people that he was kind of ruler over, they've just been decimated by these other Viltrumites. And Mark says, well, that like it's normal to feel this way, about this kind of death and destruction. And Omni-Man like throttles Mark by the throat, and he goes, "You don't know anything about like normalcy, when it comes to Viltrumite nature." And it was a little bit of that Omni-Man that beat the shit out of Mark was coming back,
Yeah. We see a little bit of that in the show, actually, at the very end of the episode where he's like he's got one clean hand and one bloody hand. And I called that, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I love like the
symbolism.
I love the yin yang there, the symbolism. Yeah. And he grabs Mark and he's like,
delete my internet history.
Exactly. Yes. Quentin, he said, my Mac, just kill it.
Just keep,
don't even
throw that bitch in the fire.
But no, he did the same thing where he's like, these people were barely a species. Mm-hmm. Their lifespans were a speck on the grand scheme of things. Yet, why do I feel this way?
Yep.
Yeah.
They get up to that point, but they don't get to the point where he gets violent again with Mark. And I think maybe like I don't think they want to put the viewers on that kind of emotional roller coaster more than they already are with Nolan, because for so long in the comics, and definitely no spoilers here, but it's like you're gonna wonder, how do you feel about Nolan, especially at this point in the story,
Yeah.
Like, do you support this man? Do you understand where he's coming from? Do you forgive him? Is he still a son of a bitch who needs to die? Where are we with him, And that's kind of the brilliance. Point.
Yeah. And the show doesn't have the luxury of the same pacing and time. Like you made that comment earlier, maybe realizing probably just how much of a staple that instrument is in the storytelling differences between the pages and the screen. Mm-hmm. It would not make much sense for Nolan to be like, all right, I'm going to whoop that whole tail ass. Oh, by the way, here's the 3 Viltrumites. I need you ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like Ash Ketchum, like bitch slapping Pikachu, and all of a sudden, oh, here's Team Rocket. Let's go whoop some ass, Pikachu. Pikachu's like got 2 bruises on his cheek, like, Yeah.
I think it'd be like when Raditz was dying, and he was like, there's other Saiyans that'll be here, and Piccolo be like in a year, right? And Raditz like in like 2 seconds, and Vegeta and Nappa show up.
He should have been like, yeah, sure, a year. Yeah. What's a year?
Oh, hell yeah.
Makes you wonder how many other planets came up with the exact same time frame that we did.
I guess it would depend on their sun, right? And like the gravitational pull, I'd assume.
Like, is the same year the same as an Earth year? Because that's what I heard.
That's a good ass point.
Yeah. Zulnaut's planet, whatever the hell they were called, the bug people. I don't remember the race name, unfortunately. I didn't write it down. But, their year was a whole lifespan.
Right.
So
that year, it was 9 months.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But that would be awesome, though, like, to a degree, because it's like, I could have so much unprotected sex and never have to worry about the consequences.
kind of be doing your plan a favor.
Yeah.
Nope,
yeah.
I would like that.
I'm glad you understand.
I immediately regret that decision.
But that's the beauty of it. You won't live to regret it. Oh shit. Okay.
There's something to be said there.
There is.
Anywho, there is.
We kind of skipped over another kind of a really big plot beat here, and that is the Alan the Alien. Again, perfect
he got
casting.
his own title card.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
We've only had 3 title cards. We had Invincible, Adam Eve, and Alan. Real quick question: what do you think of the new title card design? Because the first season was as Invincible continues his lifespan of being very much not invincible, blood splatter.
Yeah.
Now we get cracking. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's very fitting, actually. I think that's a really cool touch.
But yeah, you're about to make a point.
Yeah, I was talking about Alan the Alien there. Again, Seth Rogen, a really great choice for that character.
Great job.
And again, he gets his ass whooped by Viltrumites who are looking for Nolan. And that ass whooping is just as much as they start being in the cartoon as it is in the comic book. And it's like, man, you know, they give you the whole rundown on like his origin story and his purpose and how they were trying to make that race of people, you know, strong enough to contend with the Viltrumites. And they thought they succeeded until they realized they didn't. And, you know, that kind of leads to, you know, us today seeing Alan, who's trying to find someone who can maybe hang with the Viltrumites. He finds Mark Grayson, and now maybe together he's thinking that they can form, or he can join the coalition maybe and stand some kind of chance of winning this fight against the Viltrumites. But that fight, again, this is kind of the Robert Kirkman special, what I'm calling it, of having things show up unexpectedly and then turn quickly, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's having like lunch or whatever with his girlfriend, and then his ass gets fucking snatched and obliterated and beat the fuck down, you know?
We get reminded how much of a Cyclops he gets.
Yeah.
Homeboy is looking behind him in a way he didn't want.
Right. He's like, I am literally.
Don't watch it again. I promise. The eyeball floats and watches the Viltrumite coming back for that ass.
Right. Like he's literally watching himself get his ass beat in 4K. You know.
Oh man.
He's looking at like, damn, that guy's getting his ass beat. Oh no, that's me. That is my ass getting beat.
Out of body experience. Oh.
Yeah. Gruesome
stuff. Let me ask you, brother. Mm-hmm. What do you think about? Because like we see that scene where we get like the nice forgive the wordplay, but down to earth luncheon between him and his general friend in the coalition, and then we see the whole tail ass whooping, and then shortly thereafter we see Alan somehow alive by the mercy of whatever gods he has. Plural helping him at that point.
Right.
And then you see Thaddeus.
Yep.
What are your thoughts here?
So again, like no spoilers. There's a few things. He is one of them, and there's one other character who I want to talk about where it's like seeing it again or even reading it again, it's like I feel like I should have seen certain things coming, you know?
Yeah. Like watching it in retrospect, it's like, man, my vision's perfect now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, another really big key character here, and I guess like kind of more to the point is there's a traitor, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And trying to figure out who's the fucking mole, you know? Like
and that's the fun thing in the show. We have no idea. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's not awesome for them.
Right, yeah. It quite sucks for them, actually.
It quite sucks. They're like, well, golly gee, this blows.
Yeah.
I said it.
But is this our first time seeing Thaddeus in the show? Or did we see him in season 1?
Oh, sidebar.
Yeah.
Was that son of a gun not Optimus Prime?
I think it was Peter Cullen. Yeah, I looked at the...
Peter Cullen. Yeah, because I was like, everything he says, I cannot take seriously. All I hear is Tsunami and Optimus Prime.
Right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And you would be correct, because I remember I probably just like you did, I would, every once in a while kind of hit that down button on the Amazon app and see who's voicing. Yeah. Like, shit, that is Peter Cullen, huh? Yeah.
And honestly, not to give credence to a company that's already a big corporation with lots of money, but I love that streaming service, has that, not just for the actors and the voice actors, but also for the songs playing.
Yeah.
Because Invincible's got some good songs, dude.
You know, shout out to the homie Caleb. Right as season 2 was about to come out, he asked me if I thought we were going to get a Run the Jewel song. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure we would. And then right at the very end, we get one. Yeah.
Yes! Brother, you have no idea how excited I was. I love them all the twins. Homie, if there's any confusion, let me explain. I love them all the twins.
Oh,
Not only are they amazing characters, I love them to hell and back.
Yes.
They always get Run the Jewels.
They do.
Well, not always. In the first season, they did. Always. Every scene almost felt like Run the Jewels somehow. And then the last episode, brother, I was so fucking happy.
Yeah.
So happy because we didn't get one until the last episode, and I was like, "Oh, I guess they're not doing."
Right.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah,
so good. I love Run the Jewels. If you couldn't tell, guys,
right? Hell yeah!
Please be a sponsor. Please, that's all I want.
We've mentioned Angstrom Levy, but we haven't really talked too much about him. What you think of his arc so far in this season?
I really like it in the show so far, dude. Like, I really dig the complexities that they were brave enough to show for him. We see him as a sane individual with a crazy, but albeit potentially sensible plan.
Yeah.
It's out there, but so is his power, and so is what he's done so far to do it. So, sure, why can't he collectively have the memories and the knowledge of his entire selves from other universes? And then we see him sanely like, oh, hey, I need you guys to keep me separated. This would be dope. Oh, wait, Invincible. No, what are you doing? Please, you're going to mess this up. And now after the surgery, after the chaos, we see him all of a sudden blaming Invincible for everything.
Yeah. And I think that's the kind of nuance that I like with this character, just because he, you see what Invincible and Omni-Man did in like his world. And with most people, that would be
technically most of his world.
In most of his world, this was an anomaly. Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you would think that, like, for most comic books or most TV shows that had that type of premise, that would give them like the credence to go after and stop Invincible. You know what I mean? So, and again, that's not a bad storyline. It makes sense and it tracks, but they go the extra distance with Angstrom Levy because he doesn't have the desire to kill Invincible. From the main universe, like. He wants to, he's like, okay, well, your Invincible is good. That's an anomaly. And he's not looking at Invincible in our universe as a threat. He's looking at him as, oh, okay, that's just a really cool anomaly of sorts. It's not until, as you mentioned, Invincible kind of puts the kibosh on the whole experiment where in the aftermath, Angstrom Levy is now trying to blame Mark for everything. Granted, there's probably also a lot of brain damage going on along with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greatly told, but very unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I'm very curious to see how they handle Angstrom Levy because, and again, like, not to get into any spoilers, but, his story kind of takes place at reoccurring spots in the comic book, you know?
Mm.
Where
Yeah,
it's like,
that's true.
yeah. It's like there's always other things, other threats, other problems going on. And then there's also, oh, here's Angstrom Levy. I don't know how that translates to, a TV show like this. I don't know if that will potentially get old for viewers, or I don't know if they want to do his story almost entirely in one or two seasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
At the rate they're going, they probably have at least, there's 12 volumes, and they almost do a volume a season, it seems. But I don't know. I'd say maybe 10 seasons, 9 seasons worth of material at this rate. So I don't know if I just don't know if viewers have enough patience to deal with a reoccurring threat that long, for however long they want them to last.
If viewers had the patience to watch and pretend to remember all the names of Game of Thrones, Pico agrees. She's a good girl.
Yes.
Then they'll have the patience for this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The difference is those motherfuckers in Game of Thrones, they never lasted too long. Those motherfuckers would come and go within a season or two max.
I told you Pico is a good girl. She doesn't agree with you.
I see. You know what? And she brings up a good point. You know what?
Yeah. She's good. Yeah. You know, homies, just because you asked. Here you go. Boom. There she is. Hey, Pico.
Hey.
Yeah, good kitty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're back on track.
Let's talk just a little bit about the Adam Eve special. What you think of it?
Let's do it. Dude, I really liked it. I honestly was very surprised that we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And watching it, it was the first time I got to watch Invincible without having something predicted for me, because I didn't get to read about the Adam Eve special prior in some graphic novel, Yeah. It was spoiler for this episode. Yes, I can't remember what was our rule for this.
We said we're gonna spoil. Yeah, if it's on Amazon, if it's on Amazon, then we're spoiling it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was very happy that we got to see the Lizard Gang back in its early, maybe more competence, and then it's retrograde into King Lizard.
Yep.
And then the season 2 Supreme Lizard.
Yeah.
So,
that's great.
Oh no, excuse me, King Lizard and then Supreme Lizard. There it is.
Yeah.
But don't you knock over that goddamn water, Pico.
Do it, Pico.
No, don't you dare. She will. Every cat owner in the world right now is watching she will. But no. So I thought it was really dope watching just the actual creation of her power, especially knowing who Eve is and the struggles that we do get to see her go through in the pages. Mm-hmm. It's awesome to see where it all began, and I don't know, dude. It was a huge compliment to her character. I really like the exposition that we get for her. I like seeing the trials that she gets to go through. We get to see Kill Cannon for the first time. Her favorite nemesis. Right. Yeah. I really dug it. How about you?
Yeah, I also really enjoyed this, man, because, as we spoke about earlier, they really get to delve deeper into some things that are only briefly shown in the pages. We get brief exposition from Adam Eve, and then we kind of see a few panels here and there that show us bits and pieces of her past and her story, mm-hmm. and so, we get enough in the pages to piecemeal together, maybe kind of how she came about, but this really gives us a real in-depth analysis of her origin, and you can definitely feel that it was indeed written by Robert Kirkman, just because it has that kind of it's got that kind of morose feel to it, where at times it feels fittingly sad, and at times for something like this.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, man, because again, just seeing how how lonely she was as a child. It really kind of puts things into perspective as to why she is kind of the way she is as an older person now. So I dug the hell out of it, man, and to see her fight like her siblings, that was a fun and kind of gruesome fight.
The siblings. I forgot about them. Thank you. Yeah, they were crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How would you describe their powers? Like Clayface mixed with without the morphing, like just the grossness of Clayface.
Yeah. Like, oh, dude. It's like a scientist watched Clayface on the news and said, "I can do that. I know how that was done." And they tried to do the same thing, but cyberpunk.
Right.
Yeah. So. It's weird, wacky, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy seeing what the kids were capable of, and knowing that is how Eve could have started.
Right.
Yeah.
And this isn't a slight on the show. I mean, or on the special. It's just more of an observation. But I guess her mom was always, a overly submissive, weak woman, and I guess that her dad was always an overbearing asshole.
Yeah, the dad, who doesn't hate the dad? Let's be honest. The dad's like a pissant.
Yeah.
I don't get to use that insult a lot, but we do see, however, she's adopted.
Yeah, we get that much, and I couldn't remember if they ever said that in the comics or not.
Nope, that was new information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, because she's nothing like her mother or her father.
Yeah.
Granted, in the comics, we never get wind of that, even though she's redheaded like both of her parents. But that's it. Yeah, we just see
her dad ate her birthday cake without her there.
What a
monster!
Yeah, what a dickhead. Yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah. I hope Dad's ever watched him and said, that won't be me, Yeah.
I might do it. I mean, it's...
You're the dad who looked at that birthday cake and said, I won't do it. Is that buttercream icing?
You know what? I'm just taking a small piece from the back. They'll never know.
They'll never know. They'll never know. Pass the cake later.
It's a kiss. You don't need the whole thing.
You don't need the whole thing. What, is she half my size? You get the quarter of the cake. I ate half of it.
It's dad tax. Yeah.
Dude, dad tax is expensive. That was 50% of the check.
Welcome to America.
I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. Yeah, Pico disagrees. You see this? Homies, I'm glad to get to meet the nice, the gray cat. Yeah. You met both of them technically, but that's Otto, true. He's a little chaos monster. He's around here somewhere. So, yeah.
There was they did go a little anime-ish for me there at the end, like with her Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct form that she temporarily has, and then she falls flat. I was like, okay.
It looked bad. I won't say it looked bad.
It didn't
That's
look
actually
bad.
too strong.
Yeah.
It looks cheesy to some degree.
Right.
I'll say that much. I agree with you there. The mercy I'll extend to it and its cheesiness is that it does play for the pages.
It does.
And then I'll shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. And because there's maybe one or two things we'll say about it in like the spoiler field section, which we're probably ready just to go ahead and get into here. I mean,
at this point, yeah.
You got anything else like with the Adam Eve special or the first 4 episodes?
Yes, actually, we didn't talk about the ending of episode 4. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about how. Yeah, we mistrailed entirely how Invincible meets one of the other Viltrumites, one of the named Viltrumites, General Fuckface. No, that's not his name. That's everyone's name, but not his. What's this guy's name? I got it right here.
Okay.
Yeah. I had it. It loaded up some dumb ad. There we go. We'll visit his website where I had all my information. General, I'm going to find it first.
How dare you?
I lied. I scrolled past it apparently. Oh, there it is. General Craig. Ha!
Craig, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or Craig or Krieg. I'm just going to go Craig. That sounds more fun. It's probably Krieg. But, yeah, dude. He was the one-eyed Viltrumite who had, like, the robotic eye. Yep. Like the Deadshot eye.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he gives Mark, hey, Nolan failed. You know, I don't know why he changed his mind. We don't. Mm-hmm. So you're going to go back to Earth, and you're going to take over the planet and get ready for our arrival. And if you don't, we'll kill you and everyone you care about.
Yeah.
You know, that was great. They took Nolan, you know.
After they broke his back.
They broketed that back in multiple places.
Yep. Yeah, that shit was fucked up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And hauled him off. And that is issue 29 in the comic books here. And and so it's interesting because I only say that just so if you guys at home are reading or wanting to read, you know where you can pick up at now and continue reading. So I assume that the rest of issue 3 is going to be the second half of the season, which I'm not going to spoil here. I'm just spoiling for myself again.
Okay, go for it.
Should have already read. And that's kind of the issue that I think both you and I had is that, like, you know, we read the entire thing in a very short window, you know, and so it's hard to remember what happened in which book, you know.
As soon as you got them, we read them, dude.
Yeah.
That shit was hot off the press and we read that, you know?
Yeah.
As soon as you got the box open.
Right.
Yeah.
So it didn't take long.
It was good.
Oh, yeah.
It was good. But yeah, you're right. Like, it all became like, instead of 12 separate books, it became one giant Bible of Invincible. And we said, I'll read that entire library, you know? So, yeah.
And I think that's a very smart cliffhanger for them to do. Like, if you got to split the season in half, that's a good place to put it, you know?
Yeah. Agreed. I like it, you know? Yeah. It gives Mark the heavy decision. Is he going to carry out with the order? Or is he going to potentially watch his whole planet die? Because he knows these motherfuckers are stronger than him.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So
I mean, and they, you know, they took his dad, you know, and then you also got to think, man, all of that would be an incredibly tough conversation to have with your mom. But I mean, if you're Mark, you want to talk to your support, who in this case would be like his mom. But shit, what the fuck do you say? Hey, Ma, so like your asshole ex-husband who said you were a pet, and who tried to kill me and so many other people. I ran into him again, and you know, emotions caught up, and he got hurt, and I have a little brother, and you know, there would be a lot of things to discuss there. What you think of this cliffhanger ending we got?
Oh, dude, like I loved it, man. Yeah. I'm a big fan of it because it's the heaviest decision we get to see Mark decide between now. Yeah. You know, because season 1 we very much got to see Mark kind of like get the training wheels and take them off, whereas this is the one where he's like, "Fuck, I might be deciding my planet's fate." Yeah.
And you know, like, and again. And I think we spoke about this like those years ago that we first started reading Invincible, but there's a lot of Dragon Ball Z in Invincible, you know, like
Robert Kirkman's a fanboy. He's got to be.
Yeah. Like you can feel the influences. He was like, I'm going to take Kryptonians and Saiyans and I'm going to make them into Viltrumites.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even don't Viltrumites get stronger if they get their asses beat and recover? Yeah.
Yeah, like by season the second half of season 2, Mark is going to be way strong now. Yeah. And Rex Explode, by the way, is Krillin. Oh no, I'm sorry, he's Yamcha. Yeah. Because at some point he just becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Yep. Shout out to Yamcha.
Shout out to you, Yamcha, and you, Rexplode.
By the way, Jason Momoa's same guy in everything he does.
That's very.
It's
true.
good, but he's the same guy.
His is the only character, and I mean this in a good way. His is the only character in the show who is so like over the top, you know, and almost like cartoonish in a way, but it's very on brand for Rexplode, you know. So
it's actually uncanny to the pages. Like, I make fun of Jason Momoa lovingly because he's a great actor, and I love the roles he's done.
Yeah,
he's got hilarious lines.
Oh yeah.
But it works so well with Rexplode. You know, it definitely is. You know, he's living up to the character in the pages really well.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, moving forward, man, I really, obviously, I loved season 1. Season 2 had a lot of expectations and big shoes to fill. And I think they're really doing a good job nailing it. But I guess kind of as we've been alluding to tonight, their biggest struggles, I think, are going to be the balancing act of all the different arcs and narrative paths they can take, because the story is going to continue to branch out and get bigger. And how they continue to proceed is, you know, it's going to be interesting to see like which paths they take, you know.
Well, that's also part of the benefit of the TV show too. You know, to call back out to season 1.
Yeah.
What was the name of the character Mahershala Ali voiced?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, the really cool guy who could like rock all over his body.
Right.
Who was that guy?
Like not Luke Cage, yeah.
Which is ironic, because he was Coppermouth.
Because he was Cottonmouth.
I mean, he wasn't Coppermouth, let's be honest, but he was Coppermouth.
Yeah, close enough, you know. Yeah.
Well, no. Remember, his name's not Cottonmouth, Quentin. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, don't call him that. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
He stays hydrated when he wakes up. I'm glad you got that. Yeah.
There's a homie who everyone just like rolled their eyes at our jokes back to back.
A little bit.
I love it.
I can't say that I blame them, you know.
Me neither. But hey, we're doing this for the fun for YouTube.
Right.
Whatever that guy's name is, the reason I bring him up, I hope you're looking up the name. Thank you for helping me. So the reason I bring him up in the first place is you made the point that they're going to have a hard time balancing all the plates. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for the book. You know, it looked like your fingers pointing to Invincible, ironically. But the guy you were talking to.
Right.
Yeah. We know.
It's not Mark. Yeah, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not Mark. No, like in season 1, we see him, and he had a relevant chapter.
Right.
He took off like a whole episode or two, you know? Yeah. Now, here's the thing. We haven't seen him at all.
Yeah.
And that's a luxury the TV show has, where they can leave things kind of like marinating and slow cooking and then get to it later, you know? So, they still have to play the balance game a little bit, but it works to their benefit. What's up?
His name was Titan.
Damn! Yeah, thank you, Titan, which is a great name. Makes sense.
Yeah. You know, I do agree with you to a degree. I guess for me the only issue is that, like, let's say they bring him back in season 3, and that's in 2025. How many people are going to remember Titan, and will he feel that's important then? And I feel like that's kind of a similar problem that they had in the comic books a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the comic books, obviously. Yeah. But if I had to, critique it, I would say some of the things, Robert Kirkman just didn't think were going to be that popular, like Battle Beast. You know what I mean? Like he didn't know that Battle Beast was going to be that fucking popular when he made him. He was just supposed to be, and then he was like, holy shit, people really like this guy,
Yeah.
But there's several different little miniature stories like that you think might lead to something bigger or grander, And then maybe they do or maybe they don't, you know. So it'll just be interesting to see if they can kind of balance that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
Kevin, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time here, but let's just take like 5-10 minutes or so to have a little bit of a spoiler-filled discussion before we wrap up here tonight.
Happening right now. Homies,
yes.
You heard the warning. We're talking. We're going to spoil some shit.
Yes. So, homies, if you guys are listening in right now, that means that you are A-okay with spoilers for Invincible. That means that shit that has not as of yet happened on this TV show, we will be discussing to a degree. All right?
Yes. Which means we'll be discussing the exact happenings of the comic book pages.
Yes.
To clarify my boy's point.
100%.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the back half of this season then has to be about the introduction of Ollie and him, you know, his rapid aging, you know. That's
also, it has to be about the introduction of Nolan to Alan.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I admittedly don't remember, and I wanted to pick your brain. I haven't had a chance to re-look it up again. What was, because we know that Nolan was a writer, you know, in his, you know, his Earth life, he was a writer, and in both the TV show and the comic books, he tells Mark, you know, look in my books, you know, in terms of like a solution for this problem. I'm trying to remember what was in his books.
So I think honestly it's like a roughly, I want to say coordinates, like the books
for a weapon, right?
examples.
It was for a weapon. That's right.
Yeah.
And it was like
the Shiva strain.
Yeah.
The equivalent.
That's right.
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. See, our powers combined.
Yeah.
Because
I remember it was talking about like past worlds that the Viltrumites took control of. Salute, baby. But Maddie sneezed.
May the gods bless you, Maddie. She's been blessed.
Clinton has blessed you as well, Maddie.
Yes.
But it was both like talking about like the past worlds they took out, the adventures that they had, and then like the virus that wiped out so many of the Viltrumites. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. It was that fucking virus. Yeah. And that's right. That's what he hid in those books. And
our boy Thaddeus will have something to say about that.
Oh, yeah. Thaddeus, our secret Viltrumite, hiding in plain sight, you know? Yeah.
Optimus Prime. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, who'd have thought? Goddamn Transformer. You can't trust him.
Yeah.
Except you can technically trust this one. He's a good guy.
He's going to tell everybody to roll out.
Yeah. That was one of the things that, you know, in retrospect, like you should have seen coming. I feel like, okay, this guy's got to be a Viltrumite, you know. But
when I read the book, I didn't.
Me either. Yeah.
The
other thing is, and again, big spoiler alert if you guys are still here, you bold motherfuckers. Fucking Rudy being one of the big bad villains of the entire story.
Yes. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And again, Robert Kirkman does a great job of distracting you from the obvious when it comes to Rudy. Because look at his origin, right? And again, I'm not trying to judge him for being a deformed little fucking eggplant in a test tube. But, you know, that's kind of what he is in the beginning. And he controls the robot suit, you know, by other means. And then the TV show handles it with more grace, I think, than the comic books. But I believe in the comics, he waits for Rex to die, and then he clones the body and uses Rex's body for himself. Whereas in the TV show, Rex is still alive.
Oh, wait. I can't remember. I thought honestly that he did it in the pages the same way he did in the show. He just pulled the trigger at different times. Because I thought in the show he did it when he was alive and took the blood sample secretly, like in season 1. I couldn't remember though.
Yeah,
you might have to fact check me there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find it earlier, but I don't think I have the. Well, I have it, but I don't have it within arm's reach. When Rex dies, or when he. So yeah, I had to look it up again. We'll have it for season or the back half of season 2.
I was about to say, do you think that's going to happen this season?
That's a good question, man. I was worried about Rex in season 1 because they pulled the trigger on that so soon, you know?
Yeah.
Them introducing, young Rudy. And you might be right. Maybe he was still alive. But it just kind of seemed, it's either way, that's not really a heroic thing to do.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Honestly, my theory is that by the end of season 2.
Yeah, for Rex, I think you might be right.
We're already seeing it happening. We're already seeing his story start that ribbon tying. It's going to get wrapped up nice and neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, when you think about interesting side arcs, Rudy's side arc with Monster Girl is one of the best.
Angela? Is that her name? Angela? I can't remember.
I forget. Angelica?
Monster Girl, yeah.
Was it Angelica?
Angelica?
Or Angela? Or something. We have the means.
Yeah, we have the technology.
Monster Girl name. Amanda.
We were close.
Yeah, it was an
A. Yeah, it was A.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. With Amanda there, that was one of the most intriguing side arcs, and seeing their relationship and how they kind of grew apart and how they grew together literally and figuratively, and then how they grew apart. That shit was really, really cool, I thought, and seeing how Rudy changed over the years. Yeah, man, I really, really dig their side arc. Now, the question is, I don't know how many seasons this TV show plans to go, but how long do you go on some of these arcs, right? So, do you wrap up Angstrom Levy in one season, or do you drag him out some? Because he lasts a pretty long time in the comic books before he's killed.
Drag him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, drag him out. I mean, don't turn him into the next Doc Seismic or nothing,
Right,
but drag him out. Yeah. I love what they did with Doc Seismic, by the way.
Yeah.
You can keep the ones made of wood. That made me laugh. That was good.
Yeah.
But granted, Angstrom Levy, not Levi, is a great character.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'd love to see his bulk of the story kind of begin coming to a peak here. Season 3, we see that peak being began to be dealt with, but then we still see evidences of, and still Angstrom Levy to some degree later on too. Maybe not as prevalent in some cases, but I'd say let's not just wrap him up nice and neat in one season. That's too convenient. That's too easy.
Yeah, I agree. And also because there's a lot of cool things that happen with Mark dealing with Angstrom Levy. Because, for example, Mark murders him, albeit accidentally. He still straight up murders Angstrom Levy. And,
in a desert.
Yeah, in a fucking desert. Yeah. He's like, oh, shit, my bad, dog. I ain't mean to kill you like that.
I got sand all up over this. Yeah. Oh, man,
And, because, Mark gets stranded there, correct?
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Another thing we got to talk about is what do we do with his girlfriend, whose name I just forgot?
Amber.
That's the other A name. Yeah. I'm so torn on Amber, right? Because on one hand, she's kind of a nothing burger in the comic books. She's Mark's girlfriend, and that's it in the comics.
We see her again maybe in issue 10 or 11, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Whereas in the TV show, I love that they gave her more pizzazz, more charming personality. However, I think Amazon took notice from some complaints. She was a little annoying in season 1. And they seem to have reeled that in quite a bit, thank goodness. But she seems like a more important character, which leads me to again, kind of ask you, what do you think we do with her? Because her and Mark, at some point, they gotta split.
I think honestly, like making her a more liked and more important character is a good move because that's going to make that way more heartbreaking, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that matters because we need to see, just like Homeboy going through the desert, just like Homeboy dealing with, murder, just like Homeboy dealing with that one Viltrumite woman who shan't be named much later on in the story.
Arissa. We're in spoiler section. We'll name drop her.
Yeah. Go ahead and say her name. How do you say that name?
Arissa.
There you go. Say it loud and proud. That bitch. But what I'm getting to is that we see him go through hardships and they need to feel hard. This show does a great job telling the story, but also making the story hit in funny, in drama, in impactful, in violent. So by all means, make her prevalent, make her likable, make it dramatic.
Yeah.
You know? So
and I do agree with that. I think that is a pretty excellent point. Like you said, the more important she is, the more impactful the split will be.
Yeah.
But I guess then my question is, if you build her up and you make her this more important character, do you write her off or do you keep her around? And if you keep her around, obviously, what do you do with her?
I'm going to go with the simple answer because I agree with the simple answer. And that is, we were just talking about how many plates the show's got to balance.
Yeah.
One way to balance all those plates is you make room for more plates, you know?
Oh, boy.
So,
do we have Conquest kill her? That would be...
No. Red button. Break. Stop. No. I'm saying, hey, let her retrograde out of the story. You know, maybe have like an image of her character watching the news every now and again, you know, maybe as she finds the new boyfriend. But no, for the most part, we need to just like here's a funny way to put it. Robert Kirkman and the showmakers need to find a way to pay Zazie Beetz up to this point and say, okay, we're going to give you a break from the show and ask you to come back later in this season, okay? Yeah.
Why not? You know?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to handle that whenever they get there, you know? Because that's one thing that they definitely can't change. That'd be a big change if they do, you know. Her and Mark have to split at some point for Mark and Adam Eve. So we mentioned Conquest a little bit earlier.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta be honest, I think it's hard for me to like rank my favorite villains in this series, but Conquest might be number 2 for me. Like I think that he has the intimidation of Battle Beast, except Battle Beast has more of a sense of has more of a code of honor than Conquest does. You know, Battle Beast is almost like the Predator, right? Where if he rolls up on you or me, he's not really that concerned with us. He's looking for a worthy prey, worthy opponent. Whereas Conquest, he's like
Maestro Hulk, but can fly.
Yeah. Fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Focused, headstrong, will murder you.
Yeah.
We'll murder you with a heartbeat.
Right.
Yeah.
I am more afraid of Conquest than Thrag, you know, who's like the fucking Viltrumite leader, you know?
So I gotta ask, who's your favorite villain then, if Conquest number 2?
Season 1 or Volume 1 Omni-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
that monologue J.K. Simmons did on the mountaintop,
oh man,
I think was one of the best reasons season 1 hits.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about season 2. I loved that monologue.
Yes.
Look what you made me do. Why did you make me do this? Like, oh, I could watch on repeat, dude.
Right.
Oh my gosh. That's why I was saying earlier, like, J.K. Simmons, can I just pay you to like yell motivational shit at me in like an emotional monologue, please? I'll just make that my ringtone.
and again, not to sidebar us, but how good was he in Baldur's Gate 3 as Ketherick Thorm? I thought he was excellent.
Right? He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was so good. Yeah. He was like, he was powerful. But he was...
There was a sadness to...
There was a lethargy, too, because he was like, I will kill you now.
Right.
And I will raise your body to be a part of my army.
Very matter of fact, Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. It's like you believed everything he said. Like, his delivery was so on point. Yeah. I loved it.
Like a powerful character who has dealt with and is still dealing with so much, you know?
Yeah. Love that. Yeah. J.K.
Talk about
Simmons,
Ketherick Thorm, everybody. Play Baldur's Gate.
We
already know you are. Just play it tomorrow.
Right. Which we're going to do tomorrow. So, hey, everything comes full circle. Yeah.
We started an evil campaign, everybody. I'm so excited.
Kevin is playing as the Dark Urge, so that is going to be fascinating. I'm playing as Necromancer Gale, so that'll be a lot of fun, too. Yeah.
Good
yeah, man. There's still a lot of really cool shit, thankfully, that this show has to tap into, and I can't wait. So, like, obviously, in terms of things we're gonna get to next is gonna be, we got the meeting between, like you mentioned earlier, Alan and Omni-Man, and I mean that's gonna be a very tense moment. You know, we got what it's kind of, again, to compare to Dragon Ball Z. You know, like the Viltrumites saying that, hey, we're gonna come to Earth at this time, so you need to get Earth prepared, Mark. That is very much the equivalent of Raditz telling Piccolo, you know, in 1 year's time, you know, 2 Saiyans stronger than I will come, and now you got to get fucking ready, you know. So the team or Guardians of the Globe, you know, they got to get ready, and you know, and Immortal, he may have lived, you know, 70 years or whatever Abraham Lincoln would say, but that shit.
70 millennia ago.
Right. But that shit ain't gonna cut it for these Viltrumites, you know.
Yeah.
I
don't care how many duplicates you get.
Which next to Mystique, Duplicate may be like the best fictional superheroine to be with, because if you with Mystique, think about it. Obviously, Mystique.
How did I know you were gonna say that? How did I know you were gonna go down this road?
You don't know me. You don't know me.
I know you, sir.
Obviously, Mystique is always going to be number one, because you have Mystique, you have everybody. All right.
Yeah.
But Duplicate, I think she's a contender for, if you like one Duplicate, just one, then that joy can only be. It's like Dr. Manhattan, all right, when he was, you know, when he was with Lori, you know, you got one Dr. Manhattan, you got as many as you want, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing with Duplicate. Yeah.
You're not gonna run out.
Yeah. and that's the thing. I'm like, come on, Duplicate. Like, okay, 8 of you can be with Immortal. Give Rex one. You know, he just wants one.
It don't even have to be number 1. It could be number 31.
Yeah, it could be number 31. Doesn't matter. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh man! Oh my gosh, I've missed it.
Yes, same. Very much same.
Oh, that's great.
Shit.
Yeah. What's up? What you about to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I just saw a concept artwork of Mark with Omni-Man's mustache. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the Viltrumite race. You know, you got to have the stash, just like the tail.
You got to rock the stash. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, I was just kind of looking again at the end of Volume 3 to see where they're going to take us with the back half of Season 2, which they said is going to come early 2024. Who the fuck knows what that means? You know, early 2024 could be. That could February. That could be January. It could be fucking technically April. You know.
Don't do that to us.
I know.
Don't do that to us. Yeah. You know it's already ready too. Come on.
Yeah, it's got to be right. The good news is I think the turnaround time for Season 3 would be much shorter. Hopefully.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, with that being said, man, before we wrap up here, Oliver, I know, guys, for those of you who are listening in who haven't read the comic books, that is the name of the little blueberry boy.
How dare you? Yep. Oliver Grayson.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, his character is obviously super important for several reasons, but I think in terms of like what we're gonna get soon, he is actually a big part of Debbie's healing process. You know?
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say because they share no blood relation. You know, and not only that, but the man who she thought she loved, that's his kid with another person, but still
with
another bride. Yeah. You know, he moved on.
Really, it speaks to, I can't remember the tailor's name. Art.
Yep.
Art. Thank you. Maybe Arthur was the proper name. Okay,
probably.
You improper non-gent. You're a gent. What can I say?
Oh shit. Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill voices him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was talking about in Season 2 how Debbie was the strong one, and he gave an important short speech about that. How Nolan was invincible. Not really. He was he was impervious.
Right.
He was super strong, super fast, a superhuman being who wasn't a human being at all. Mm-hmm. He had it easy. Debbie was the one who constantly had to prove her strength by raising Mark on her own, by, raising the family, upholding the household, actually creating a semblance of a life. And this is just a further testament to what she's about to go through with Oliver, to that strength and just how amazing of a woman Debbie is.
Yeah.
And that's commendable as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, man, I hate to keep doing this, but they're just right there in front of me, so I have to kind of do it. But I can see, like, an alternate future in Dragon Ball Z where, like, you take Season 1 or, like, Book 1 of Invincible and you apply it to Dragon Ball Z. Like the viral heart disease takes out Goku. There are no Cell or Androids, right? And you have Vegeta on Earth. Trunks, hey, hear me out here. Trunks becomes of age, and Vegeta's like, son, got some shit to tell you. All right, I killed Piccolo and Yamcha and Tien and Chaozu because he was creepy as shit, and I don't know what he is.
Yeah. He's a Pokemon.
And you and I were actually part of the same Saiyan race. And it is up to us to conquer this planet, and you are actually technically the future prince of all Saiyans. And Trunks would be like, no, Dad, no. What about Mom? Your mom is a fucking pet. Like, I can see Vegeta in a different timeline doing all of that shit.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
I could see Vegeta almost doing that shit numerous times in our timeline. I could see Vegeta doing that and then immediately backtracking like, no, wait, never mind. I apologize.
Right.
She's not a pet.
She's not a
But she might as well be.
Yeah, man. I think that's all I have for like the spoiler filled section, man. So you have anything else? Anything you're looking forward to seeing?
Shout out to Walton Gibbons.
Oh yeah.
Gigons, like Giggons, I believe.
Walter Goggins.
Goggins, thank
Yeah,
you. Yes,
yeah.
yes, Watson Goggins.
Yep.
Uh, he is incredible, dude.
Oh
I am
yeah.
such a fan of him too,
Right.
and I I really enjoy Cecil
Oh
in
yeah.
every scene I get him in. He's like, man, if I could be as competent as that,
Right.
Beckham, I'm I'd own the company I
Oh
work
yeah.
for. You know,
Well, there is one more question I have for you. I guess
yeah. What's
technically
up?
two more. They're tied together. But Donald, was his plot from the comic books? I didn't think so.
Nope,
I
that was
didn't.
new material. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
yeah, because in the
remember.
comic books they just replace them, and we're all like, wait, what the hell? And then
Yeah,
that's it. But
yeah,
now in the TV show, they're actually giving credence to it, and it's really interesting,
it
actually.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you kind of wonder what does that lead to. And I know we said this 2 years ago when we reviewed season one, but damn it, he is adult Bobby Hill, and nothing has changed about that.
Cecil will go home from his job at the Pentagon and watch King of the Hill to
Yeah,
decompress
right.
and be like, I'm gonna make that my
Yeah,
assistant. Because that's just what he does. He goes home, he binges King of the
yeah,
Hill, and
yeah.
he's like, I like that character so much, I'm gonna make that my office assistant to keep me calm.
Yes.
Done. And Cecil in every universe does this. Like Cecilia, the old woman Cecil
Yeah.
that we see in the other universe,
Yep.
that's what she did too.
She did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. With um Fabia Hill.
Yeah. Bobina. I
Fabina?
guess Bobby is some. There women out there called Bobby, so it could still be Bobby.
I have nothing to say to that. I think you're right. This is a podcast. I have
Yeah.
nothing to say.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that I almost called him Bobby again. I thought that the Donald.
He looks at Cecil. That's not my purse. I don't know you.
Kick some square in the nuts.
Before he can teleport away.
Right. But no,
Like he does it as they teleport together.
Right.
And so the kid just got teleported. Yeah.
My nuts hurt in two places at one time. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
God damn. Okay. You know what? We're done.
Man.
We're done here.
We're done.
Yeah.
I gotta get my blood back down,
Yeah.
man. I gotta go to bed, dude. I'm all
Yeah.
oh man. Oof.
Yeah, I don't think we can top that.
Yeah, that was great.
Kevin, any closing comments, thoughts, remarks about Invincible? Any of it?
I love it, dude. Such a great storyline. You know, it has quickly become one of my most respected and admired superhero stories that we can consume today. You know, and I say that with full purpose because, hey, guys, everybody listening, all the homies and homie S's out there, guess what? Those books Q had, those aren't exclusive. You can go buy those. You know, they might be hard to get right now because everybody's jumping on the invisible. You can't jump on invisible trains, people. Don't do it.
You can
But
try.
you can jump on the Invincible train, and you can get the books. It's readily available, and it is great. It is an awesome story, and it is worth every page and every cent. You know, it is a crime that I don't have them, but that's because I've yet to steal them from Q.
Wait a minute.
What? You didn't hear that.
I
Your
did.
mic's not working.
It
Nope.
is, and my headphones
No,
also
no.
working.
I can't hear you, buddy. You're phasing in and out. Oh, what's happening here?
Hey. But no, I concur, man. Like this is a fantastic story, and I think that, I mean, if you guys want to get into comics, it's a good one to get into. You know, the good news is, like in most cases, I gotta be honest, man. Image books, I can tell you from personal experience, they don't cost as much as Marvel or DC. Especially like if you're getting them like the collected edition style books, you know. Yeah, like definitely not as much. This retails for $35, which means you can probably get it for $20. So it's good shit. I love the TV show, man. They're really killing it. And I mean, like everyone else, we're waiting patiently for the back half of season 2. This has been great, Kevin. Thank you again, brother, for agreeing to join me for this.
Always, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I've missed it. I've missed you guys, homies. I'm so happy to constantly hear all the updates and see all the cool news that the podcast has to offer. Man, I'm just excited for where it's going to go. And honestly, it can go more places with all the homies' help.
Absolutely.
Please Patreon.
Yeah, that's right.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
That plug, shameless.
That's right. Yeah, you guys are great. But that's going to be all for this one. Kevin, my brother, thank you again for joining me, man. This has been awesome. But until next time, homies, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Kevin.
Hell yeah.